What's up everyone, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and it's time for an alternate take top 10, something that I didn't see fitting into the main channel's schedule, but also something that I didn't really see happening for 7 on Sunday anytime soon. I might do this with some other topics in the near future, but anyways, today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite YouTubers and YouTube channels, although I think YouTubers would pretty much cover it here. When it comes to actually subscribing to a channel on YouTube, I'm pretty stingy with hitting that button. I probably only subscribe to like 50 channels, maybe even slightly less than that. Over time, I've kind of weeded it out, and there's some channels that I do subscribe to, they just don't upload very often. I'm pretty picky about it because I guess I check my sub feed more than anything else. There's people that I kind of frequently watch that are in my recommended and my home feed, but today I'm counting down my top 10 that I actually subscribe to, watch most of their videos and everything like that. I'll talk about why I like them, and just for transparency's sake, I'm not including anyone in the music community that I'm a part of just because that wouldn't be fair. I mean, I'm not gonna pick favorites out of people in the music community, and also I can't pick myself, not that I would... Okay, fine, sorry. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Comment some of your favorite channels and hit that like button. Let's get into it. Nerd City nabs the first spot on the list at number 10. The amount of work that goes into this channel is absolutely appalling. Like, I drop my jaw and I'm like, how does he pull this off? But also, there's a long turnaround time in between uploads and it can take a while, you can get impatient, but also it's totally worth it because the production value of these videos is unlike most things that you're going to find on YouTube. I really have a lot of respect for Nerd City. I would consider him maybe a commentary channel in some ways, considering the topics that he talks about. He talks about Sniper Wolf, he's talked about Jake Paul, the horrible merch designs, making his own merch, and the worst YouTube merch out there. There's a lot of deep dive series that he's done, and they've always been worthwhile, also very informative, which is not something that I can say for a ton of YouTube content that I watch. I think that there's something special there, and like I said, even though the uploads don't happen very often, gotta show them love, because everything is definitely almost like a little short film.
Everyone thinks we're the same person.
Yeah, just because we look the same and sound the same and think the same and talk the same and smell the same and act the same.
Oh, you're not the same person, Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez. Then why do you almost always upload on the same days? And oftentimes it's on like the same type of subject. I'm just kidding, because obviously they played into this. They're going out on tour for the We Are Two Different People tour. Danny Gonzalez and Drew Gooden are definitely content creators that I admire in their own right, and they are two different people. They're not the same person, but they have a lot of wit and insight. Their humor is very on point. It reminds me of somebody like Cody Ko, who is an honorable mention for me, but honestly, I just like the fact that Danny talks about certain things like bad ads and everything like that just get on Instagram, and then Drew has more of a thing where he focuses on film sometimes, and also other hilariously bad Instagram accounts and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun to watch. They're always very entertaining. The humor is on point. There's something that you can throw on, watch. Sometimes it brightens the day because you're like, oh, look at how stupid this is. And then there's just a lot of kind of clever humor written into what they do. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the weekly uploads. And yeah, I'm sticking them both at number 9, so I technically cheated. Number 8 is Philip DeFranco. You might know him for The Philip DeFranco Show. But he's been around for over a decade now, and I've been watching him for over a decade, which is mind-blowing to me. I mean, I started watching him when I guess I was 16 years old. I subscribed on July 4th, 2008, after he did a video on like the whole Viacom versus YouTube thing that was going on at the time, the big crackdown and lawsuit. I have been subscribed ever since then. I've watched every Philip DeFranco show since then, and he does other stuff that I enjoy too. I mean, I don't watch everything, but he's got his Rogue Rocket news team now, and I do watch some of their deep dives. I check in on the conversation with Podcast and his DeFranco Does channel, but I'm primarily putting him on this list because of the Philip DeFranco show. I'm just proud of him because he's evolved a ton over times. There are moments where I wish that he would go in harder and give his own opinion like he used to on certain things. He does at times, and I feel like he's kind of maybe laid off of that pedal a little bit, but still, I have nothing but love for Phil. I do have a lot of respect for him for giving the news, making sure that he gets the facts right, and even if he does get something wrong, then he makes sure to actually give a correction to it. The number 7 spot is Chris Stuckman, a film critic here on YouTube that I've really grown to love over the past 4 years or so. I really don't feel like it's been that long in some ways, but in other ways, yeah. I mean, I've been hearing his thoughts and opinions and takes on trailers, movies, video games, everything like that for a while now. And I think that Chris, the reason why he's kind of my go-to is because I do watch a few other film critics on YouTube, but I just love Chris's insight. It's something that I don't have, and he's blessed with that kind of filmmaker's gift, I suppose, to point out cinematography, scores on a film, everything like that. I'm doing good if I can pick out certain things or catch up on an Easter egg when I'm watching a film, and I feel proud of myself for that. But Chris just has a gift for picking up on those things right away. I pretty much trust his criticism a lot of the times when it comes to going to see a movie or not, especially if it's something that I'm unsure if I want to spend money on or not, and I want to waste my time or not waste my time. I check out Chris's reviews. They're always very helpful. I don't always agree with him, but also we don't have to, because nobody should agree with anybody entirely, at least not all the time. Number 6, The Right Opinion. The Right Opinion is a essay channel, I suppose, in some ways. It's more of just a written out, very heavily edited format. He doesn't appear on screen for his videos, but he has a lot of editors that work behind the scenes for him, and they make really entertaining videos about, I guess, pop culture on YouTube. Drama, things that have unfolded, the death and rise of channels, why somebody was in the limelight and then faded away. It's always a lot of learning when it comes to checking out those videos, but also a good kind of learning, I think, because there's so many situations that I was just completely in the dark on. I mean, I think about the Toby Turner situation that he covered. Also, there's other YouTubers that have just been kind of prominent in some scenes, but I also didn't know a lot about them, like Marina Joyce. I always enjoy his input. There's a lot of topics that I have just kind of clicked on a whim, and then I'm like, wow, this was way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. It can run on a little bit long sometimes, and I wish they could be condensed ever so slightly, but the quality of the content is so high that I really don't have many complaints, and I find myself continuously coming back for more. Number 5 is one of the newer channels that I've subscribed to. I would say that I've only been subbed for 3 or 4 months at this point, but Scott the Woz is up next. Scott the Woz is somebody that you might not really think that I would watch because he's kind of a gaming YouTuber, but he doesn't sit there and play games. He talks about games, and they're kind of like little essays, little exploratory videos that talk about communities, and he's definitely a Nintendo fan, and I am as well, so it's interesting to hear his thoughts and also his research, the things that he brings to the table to talk about different console redesigns. He's talked about everything like GameStop, and then other exclusive consoles, reboots from development hell. There's so many different interesting topics of the gaming industry that I didn't think I would be so fascinated by, but Scott does such a good job at balancing the facts with humor, because I think Scott the Woz is hilarious. His keen insight, but also his self-deprecating humor at times, it works so well for his style of content, and I just like the way his videos look as well. It's very pleasing, and people don't always see the importance of that, but it is important, and Scott makes it pop. Number 4, Leon Lush. Leon Lush is a commentator who has really cut his teeth over the years. I would always see the name pop up, especially back in the Leafy days in 2016. I would see him in the replies. I would see him even get involved in tweet feuds with Keemstar, I think. And I only knew the name, but I didn't know the channel. And in the past year and a half, Leon has seen a surge in popularity outside of that community even. And his videos are generally good-spirited, even though they are coming down and poking fun at people. It's normally like good-hearted ribbing, not just tearing something apart. Not that I wouldn't want to see him tear something apart, because it is funny when he decimates something like Lele Pons or Hannah Stocking or all of these ridiculously cringy projects that he talks about. But there is a good variety in the type of ground that he covers. I mean, we do have the insufferable Instagram series. We've got some of the more commentary things where he talks about shows on like TLC and stuff. And then we do have like the sketch comedy on Instagram, previously Vine, and now YouTube. I think Leon just has a great editing game as well. The sound design in his episodes that he puts out is really incredible. I mean, it's little details like that that separate him from the rest of the herd and kind of put him in that elite level. Number 3, Dead Meat. Dead Meat is, of course, notoriously hosted by James A. Janice, and The Kill Count is the main series, I guess the flagship show on the channel. The Kill Count started a couple of years ago, and I got on board, I guess, within the past 12 months at some point. I guess it's been over a year now, maybe even, that I've been watching it. It's like time is flying by, but I'm not even noticing it. I love the quality of the Kill Counts. Obviously, when he started it off, he was just a horror fan. He did have experience in other things, but now he goes through and counts down the kills in all our favorite horror movies, and he's currently covering the Final Destination series, which I've been requesting for a while now. Very happy to see that actually coming to fruition. He's got a back catalog that will entertain you for weeks. His podcast with his girlfriend is really, really solid as well. I don't always watch it just because I'm not a huge podcast guy, but generally when I do tune in, they're very thought-provoking at times, but also hilarious. And James's commentary during the Kill Count episodes is what makes it so engaging, what makes it throttling to keep me hooked and coming back. Because if somebody was just listing the kill on screen, I would get bored. But James always has that wit, sarcasm, insight, punchlines, things that are just really smart that I wouldn't think about, but I find myself laughing out loud despite all of the gore of the horror movies that he's counting down. Number 2, David Dobrik. David Dobrik is a former Viner turned 420 vlogger. I say 420 vlogger because every video he uploads is 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. There was a hilarious clip where he went on like Strahan and Sarah, I think was the name of the show, like a talk show, and they asked him, why is every video 421? And he like laughed because obviously if you actually click on the video, YouTube always adds an extra second for whatever reason. You actually click on the content and it's always 420.
We hear that you make your video specifically 4 minutes and 21 seconds. And
Yeah.
So people like that, they don't understand what's going on with vloggers, everything like that. Why is everything 421? David's content is just so fast-paced. He's got the Vlog Squad. A lot of you probably know what that is. Everybody from Scotty Sire to Toddy Smith, and then you've got other newer people, additions like Jason Nash, not that he's not new in the crew anymore, Carly, Aaron. There's a lot of great people in there. The cast is talented, and I say cast because a lot of it is scripted, but that's what makes it fun. It does feel real. It feels genuine, but also it's just so offbeat and kind of hilarious. Gross out sometimes, but just you get to know these people, and it's like you just fall in love with the group of friends. And it's funny because they did do the Friends parody back in the day to celebrate, I think, his 420th vlog, if I'm not mistaken. And it makes sense because it does feel like a nice group of friends. David is definitely too much of a workaholic though, and I feel that he's gonna move in some different direction in the future, but for now, I just love going back, watching old vlogs, and then looking forward to the new ones because they never last long enough. I love that they're fast-paced, but I also hate it at the same time, and I wish that he would make 15-minute vlogs because they're so entertaining. I figured I would quickly rattle off a few honorable mentions, people that I enjoy watching also on YouTube. These aren't the only people that I watch on YouTube, again, but a few other honorable mentions for people that I really enjoy. You Suck at Cooking is a channel that I really like. It's kind of an anti-cooking channel with a lot of hilarious backstories going on at times. H3H3 Productions is another one, an oldie but a goodie. Obviously, they don't upload that much anymore. They mainly focus on the podcast, but the old stuff is gold. Don't really care about the new stuff all that much, but still they have a special place in my heart. Cody Ko, I'm still including him in the honorable mentions, although he's fallen out of my top 10. I don't think his commentary videos are as funny as they used to be, but I love Tiny Meat Gang with Noel Miller so much, and they're so funny there. I can understand why maybe he's pouring more of himself into that. Casey Aonzo is a channel that I've found recently. She's really funny, but also kind of dry humor and the commentary that she has, and she's starting to blow up, so definitely check her out. Bright Sun Films is another one that I really enjoy for his Exploring and Abandoned series. Alex Ernst from the Vlog Squad, he does his own short films and stuff, his own vlogs, if you will, and he's currently working on the greatest movie ever made. And finally, the last honorable mention, Company Man, because I enjoy learning about the backstory and the history of companies, so yeah. Rarely do we get graced with something so good, something so hilarious but also pure, good-spirited, somebody so genuinely funny, passionate, and just in the right place, getting the opportunities that he deserves. But YouTube has done well by Gus Johnson. Gus Johnson is my favorite YouTuber. He's been there for quite some time now, I guess like a year and a half or two at this point. I really just love almost everything that he uploads, and when I do watch his little skits that he does, I'm like, oh my god, I think about these things all the time, but he takes those things and puts them into kind of hilarious situations, whether that be his My Yard skits, because he's from Wyoming and from the big open spaces, or to something where he's like Drake at the NBA Finals, or just how they design the sound for home movie releases, like how sound effects and music is so much louder than the dialogue. There's just little things that he has insight into, and he exploits it in the best way for commentary. He doesn't really do commentary videos that much anymore because he's busy with projects. I know he works a lot with Comedy Central, and that is great. I'm so happy for him there. Gus actually follows me on Twitter, and I've talked to him before, which is kind of cool. I guess I got in before he really blew up, but in the past year, he like went over 1 million subs, everything like that. Genuinely don't have anything negative to say about Gus at all. Fantastic creator. We are blessed to have him on the platform, and yes, easily my #1. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me count down my top 10 favorite YouTubers. I would love to know who you're watching in the comment section down below, so maybe comment your top 3, 5, 10, whatever you feel like doing. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion, just channels that I enjoy watching. I don't have a ton of time that I guess I spend watching YouTube because I also like to watch shows on like Hulu, Netflix, watch a movie, work on my content, everything like that. Not a ton of spare time, but when I do, I'm selective, and then I watch these channels quite often. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you happen to be new to my channel somehow, then hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notified when I upload. If you want to see another top 10 countdown that's a little bit more offbeat, then tap right here, or tap here for another recent video I uploaded on this channel. All of my social media accounts can be found down below, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.